absorbed in, and you are Sonic.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to No Repeat, a podcast where we pick 3 songs every week with no repeats and no do-overs to create a perfect playlist for every occasion life throws at you. Join me are my co-hosts, Tyler Reed.
Are they playing football this year? Are they done with that?
Yeah, they're playing football.
Football! Woo! Yeah!
And Sean Evans.
Just like everybody else, in March I hit snooze too.
Well, this week's challenge was my idea, but before we get to it, let's tell the folks how they can submit challenges. Tyler, how would they do that?
Hey everybody, if you want to submit your own challenge to No Repeat, you can send us a DM on Instagram and Twitter at NoRepeatPod, and as always, you can send us a little email at norepeatpod@gmail.com. No challenge is too wacky, too wild. Looking for the most niche, specific, weird events that you can challenge us to find the perfect song for. Thanks so much.
So it's Thanksgiving week here in the United States of America, and we've done a lot of holiday-themed challenges. I wanted to do something that is holiday adjacent, but is a fixture of the Thanksgiving holiday season, which is taking a nap on the couch. Now, as I get older, I'm becoming more of a nap person. I just wasn't a nap person, in my teens and 20s, but I feel like as I get older, it's becoming something that I really enjoy, especially a good couch nap. You know, a solid 30-minute to hour and a half long couch nap. It's spot on, especially after you've eaten a bunch of turkey and dessert and everything, and the football is on, and you don't care about football because, you know, you're listening to a music podcast, so obviously. But what about you guys? Are you nap people? Do you do the couch nap? Do you bed nap? Do you just not nap at all?
I can nap. I try not to because then it pushes back my bedtime.
Tyler, what about you?
Well, you see, I've drank in the dark blood, the curse. So instead of sleeping, I instead choose to continuously fill my body with the sweet juice of caffeine, known as coffee. So, I've really hit it hard these last few weeks because, boy, it's getting dark quick. I'm like, I'm ready to go to bed at 7 p.m. So I don't really nap. I prefer just to be awake and then just go to bed earlier. Or in the case of drinking coffee twice a day, means I don't go to bed at the right time. I stay up too late. I wake up late, blah, blah, blah. The cycle continues. But in the specific instance of Thanksgiving or any family gatherings, my aunt brings her dog Cody over and I lay on the ground and play with him. And then usually I end up falling asleep. And you're like, Tyler, you're 30 years old. Why you lay on the floor? Well, because everyone else takes all the chairs, all the couch space. So I'm like, it's the perfect place.
In calendar years, he's 30 years old. But at heart, he's still a child who loves to play with a dog on the carpet.
Listen, I challenge anyone. Get on that floor and play with a dog. Yeah, there is the only benefit of going to family events is to play with the dog.
Just think of Wayne, Sean.
Think of Wayne.
If Wayne from Letterkenny can get on the ground and play with the dog, and he's the toughest guy in Letterkenny.
Well, no,
I'm going to get on the ground and play with the dog. I'm with Tyler.
Right.
Dog o'clock, baby.
Well,
might be the softest Thanksgiving ever, but you know what? Napping next to a dog on the floor, that's fine with me. That's a Texas size 10-4.
Yep.
I do think, though, there is something special about the Thanksgiving nap in particular. The kind of nap on a day like Thanksgiving, it doesn't have to be on Thanksgiving, maybe it's just on a Sunday or something. The kind of nap where you're taking a nap because you just don't have anywhere to be or anything to commit to or anything to do. And I gotta say, pandemic has really increased my nap game in that sense, because I have nowhere to be. Nowhere to be. And I'm not saying I nap on work days. I'm not saying that. I can neither confirm nor deny. But I do think that there is a special place in my heart these days for the 20 to 30 minute power nap, followed by a cup of tea or an iced coffee, just to kind of jolt me back up. I had a buddy in college who used to do what he called the coffee power nap. Shouts out to friend of the show, Daniel Spencer, where he would make a cup of coffee, drink it, and then take a 20-minute nap, which is just long enough for the caffeine to kick into his system, and then he'd wake up and do homework. And I feel like that is like pro-level nap status that I have not achieved.
I think that's making your nap do work it was never meant to do. I'm a big style of the hold something in your hand, the like express nap. You know, like when you're on a Saturday, you're like coming back, you're in between doing activities maybe. So you like, maybe you hold your phone in your hand or something. And then as soon as you start to doze off, your phone like drops and hits you in like the leg or something. And then you wake up and you're ready to go.
That is also a quality little nap.
Yeah. That's like the drive-through nap.
Yes. Yeah. That is also like adjacent neighbors to the car nap. You know, somebody else is driving, you're in the passenger seat, and you just kind of doze off for a couple miles.
I can't do that. I don't have the gift, man.
That's the only amount of sleep I can get in the car, is like dozing for maybe like 10, 15 minutes.
I think what we're trying to say is that the naps that you don't choose are the best ones. The ones where you just feel like you're just comfortable and you can just do it and it's not a big deal.
No one's saying that organic naps aren't the best kind of naps.
Oh,
Okay.
for sure.
Everybody wants an organic nap.
Organic, free-range naps.
There's misery naps where you're like, I'm going to die if I don't take a nap right now.
Oh, yeah. The hangover misery nap is the worst nap.
Oh, yeah.
Can confirm.
There's been a few episodes where I've like come like hot off a misery nap. So like I feel that.
Yeah, those are always the weakest Tyler episodes. Those are the ones where Sean and I have to carry the show.
We'll see if you can point them out.
That sounds like an album title, Misery Nap.
Oh, that would be a good album. So, segueing into the music, for me, I was really trying to find what Sean's talking about here, the organic nap sound. Because what I'm really looking for is the kind of thing that, like, I'm not putting it on specifically to fall asleep to, because that's what ambient music is for. We did a whole episode about Brian Eno. This is more like, I'm putting on something chill because I just, like, need to take a moment. And if I happen to drift off to sleep, that's okay. But I wanted something that was kind of relaxing, was kind of lush, you know, wasn't too in my face, that, you know, I could stay awake and just kind of like stare into the middle distance, or I could doze off for a little bit and that would be okay. But what about you guys? How did you contextualize your picks for this challenge?
I wanted something that was going to be I wanted it to be a nice nap song, but I was playing up the misery nap angle a little bit, you know? Like the sad contemplation nap, because I feel like that's just, there's a lot of kind of those naps that are happening right now. The escapist dwelling naps. So like in preparation for this challenge, after you guys had submitted your songs, I actually did take a nap this afternoon, and I got up and I listened to each of our songs again to see like if I could fall asleep to them. You know, if I could fall asleep, if I was cared. And the reason that I say again is because I didn't want to do like a first listen when you nap, because I don't think that would have done anything. I think that it might be unfair to the challenge. And I'll talk about my results as we kind of go through our thing. But I just want to, I don't know, just the disclaimer that mine was more of a sad nap, a contemplative nap.
I will say, as far as the testing phase, I did the same thing. I took a big long nap this afternoon, and then I did wake up and listen to our songs. So we will be reporting on our sleepy status. But Tyler, go ahead.
I did not do that test.
Oh, you missed out, bud.
No, you're right. But like
This
I
was
said,
a good afternoon.
It was a 2 coffee day today, so I did not nap. But I will say that misery naps are also sort of like falling asleep, like when you wake up in a panic at 4 a.m. It's kind of like the same thing.
And immediately check election results or something related to that, coronavirus numbers, etc.
Sure, I have an existential dread, repeated like night thought that routinely wakes me up and makes you. Anyway, very hard to go back and sleep after that. So I understand that that's sort of also that feeling. But yeah, so I kind of contextualize this also within the idea of it being specifically Thanksgiving. So I kind of wanted something that was like a classic, you know, like sort of like a favorite. And not only just because that's like what my family probably already would enjoy or appreciate, but I think there's something to say about like sort of like putting on like Star Trek. You know, like an old favorite, you know, or like something you've seen like a million times, or something to say about
Like the Thanksgiving Day Mystery Science Theater Marathon.
Sure, something that you feel that feels warm, that feels familiar, that you feel like you're not missing out on, that if you missed, so I feel like that's kind of the angle I was kind of going for. And then also just something that kind of didn't have a whole lot, like, kind of like a Brian Eno song where it doesn't really do anything, but it is, in fact, interesting to listen to. So, there's no, like, super, like, rises, like, highs and lows. Just something that's kind of chill, that kind of keeps an even tempo. Even a bit of a slower tempo would be good. Something that kind of, not even like a wiggle, kind of like a sway. So, it's the level right before non-movement. So, yeah, so that's, I didn't really have a... Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty accurate description of the song I was going for.
Well, who wants to go first this week?
I want to go first. I haven't gone first in a long time.
You got it, Tyler. What's your song this week?
This week I chose Harvest Moon, not by Neil Young, but an original cover by Jeff Rosenstock and Laura Stevenson.
Because I'm still in love with you. I wanna see you dance again. Because I'm still in love with you. On this harvest moon.
Harvest Moon, classic Neil Young song, Titanic song, probably one of his best, right? But chose a cover. Why? Sax solo, baby. That little sax solo, great. But no. So I chose Harvest Moon because, like I said, it's a classic. It's an easy moving song. I feel like kind of like growing up as a kid, this song is almost like too slow, too unapproachable. I don't know. I just feel like I never understood why someone wanted to listen to something that's just kind of like this easy going. But kind of like growing up, it's kind of made a little bit more sense, and I've kind of really grown to appreciate Neil Young's sort of like very intentional patience. This song's going to get where it's going to go when he wants to get there. And this song is just perfect for that. I think both Laura and Jeff's vocal performances are both good in their own ways. I think Laura is smooth and dreamy, soft, and Jeff is a little more harsh and spoken word. But they kind of they pair together well. I think the marimba's really nice the vibraphone in this is really nice. It adds nice sort of little accent to it. Like I said, the saxophone solo is smooth. It's jazzy. It's smooth. Just good. Love it. And I don't know. I felt like just kind of throwing on a cover on here. Just kind of thought it'd be a fun little twist on a classic. It's something that's just a little different enough to kind of pique your interest, but still be able to lull you off to sleep.
Infinitely fascinated by Jeff Rosenstock's range. For those who aren't familiar, he was the frontman and pseudo mastermind of like experimental ska, internet bad boy punk band bomb in music industry. And then he went solo and has produced some of the most interesting solo records of any musician in my recent memory, and definitely some of the best punk records of the last 5 years. So to have him doing this EP of Neil Young covers is kind of impressive on its own right. But like Tyler said, he has such an idiosyncratic lead vocal style that's like vaguely spoken word. It's kind of raspy, but also nasal. But the thing that like blows me away about Jeff is he can also give you super lush vocal harmonies. And the harmonies on this track are incredible. Just constantly on the verses, you have this bed of ooze that is a mix of Jeff and Laura's voices that feels like a nice dream. It's so pleasant and just lush. And then you get these big swells of guitar feedback, which is a very Jeff Rosenstock trick, just to like add a little edge to a ballad. I don't know that I love it for falling asleep, but I do think it adds a character to this cover that the original lacks. Like the original is so much more about songwriting, whereas I feel like this version, it has a character. It has the dueling vocals create kind of a story of a relationship in a way that the original feels more like Neil Young talking about a relationship. The other thing that I think is really compelling about this is Laura Stevenson. I don't know a ton about her, to be honest, but her vocal, like Tyler said, on the verses is just so beautiful. it honestly gives me like early Stevie Nicks vibes, like Rumors era Fleetwood Mac Stevie Nicks. And there's something about that sound that I'm just really into right now. Like the Laurel Canyon folk rock adjacent female vocal. I'm here for it. I think this is a great pick.
So there's a lot going on here. I really like, to piggyback off what Taylor said, I really like Laura's vocal, and I really like the reimagination of this song. Like there are parts of it that are just like epically beautiful, right? There's just like a ton of them that I'm like, this is fantastic. But then there's this part that has Joe Rosenstock in it that is absolutely terrible. And I'm just going to be like upfront with you. I think the saxophone solo is like terrible. I think that having like...
Not a sax fan. Already not a sax fan.
I think it's I'm with Sean. I think it's gratuitous.
Oh my God.
Having her be so like old country-esque and then him come in and be like spoken word just totally throws you off. And the use of like a single like fuzz hit at the beginning, middle, and end of the song is terrible. It's horrible. This song, it's like having a bad ending. Like you can have a bad start and win a race, but you can't win a race if you have a terrible ending. And I just feel like this, if Laura would have done this song all the way through, dude, this would have been, I would have slapped this right on my nap playlist any day of the week. I would have slapped this on like, go for a stroll outside on a rainy day and take pictures, or go for a stroll on like, going to like pay car insurance kind of thing, because it's just that good of a song. Like it will help you get over whatever kind of stupid thing you're about to have to do. But like, I don't know, man. Jeff's voice does not, this saxophone solo, I get why you love it, because you're just, I love you. I see who you are. But I'm just gonna, like, just being real, it does not add anything for me to this song, because when I first listened to it, and even from my like nap period where I was like coming back and I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this, hearing Laura's voice, I was like, this is like flowers blooming. Like it's such a good way to get it. And then Jeff comes in and I'm just like, no. Like the more that I listen to it, the more I'm like coming around to his voice and being like, okay, this is just who he is. This is his like style. But I don't know. I think part of being a successful artist is knowing maybe what you shouldn't do.
Just a point of note here. Would you say that the original is a song to take a nap to as well?
I couldn't tell you that. I need to do some research into that one, but
sure,
I would. I'll go ahead and say I think really any Neil Young, like not Buffalo Springfield because that's a different story, but like some of Neil Young's solo stuff, some of the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young stuff. Again, any of that like Laurel Canyon folk stuff, I'm totally into for nap sounds. I also, like Sean, when I came up from my nap this afternoon and listened to this song, I found that it would be hard to sleep to. That's not to say that it's a bad song, but I do think not maybe something that I would fall asleep to.
That's fair.
The guitar feedback is just too much.
I agree.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that the original is definitely high quality nap music. I think anything that's like a soft, nice, like singer-songwriter kind of feel is good nap music.
Okay. I definitely agree. I feel like I chose this mostly because I think there was some interesting parts to this. I thought this would be almost a more interesting pick rather than like a good pick. Because I feel like I could have just picked Harvest Moon and that would have been the end of it. Then we could have just talked about Neil Young for 10 minutes. I don't know. I feel like I chose this because I think it would be at least be an interesting topic.
Yeah.
At least an interesting pick.
You succeeded in that.
Okay.
Yes.
But generally, I agree with all your things that the feedback is a little weird. Jeff is for sleeping. Jeff, not great. Laura, very, very good for sleeping. Saxophone, take it or leave it.
She's a really good musician. I think I'll just go check her out more just by herself.
There you go.
Because her voice is great.
Yeah.
Like, I love how she sings. I love that her cover sounds so original. I don't know how much of the production or like remake that, and that's why I don't want to like really crap on Jeff that much, because I feel like I don't know how much involved with this he is, and I think as a reimagination of this, but still keeps that same spirit, that this is a fantastic song.
She's got a NPR Tiny Desk, so there you go. You can check that out.
You know I love live performance.
Well, speaking of singer-songwriter, I think I should probably go next. This week I chose This Bloom by R.D. Thomas.
So if you ever come dance with me, my two left feet of the morning, my aging away. I'll be waiting here to dance you out to the garden where this bloom is safe.
R.D. Thomas is an alternative folk singer-songwriter. He is the frontman of the band Brother and Bones, and he is also a touring band member for Ben Howard, who is another folksy singer-songwriter guy. But his solo stuff is relatively recent. And to be honest, I didn't know anything about him when I picked this song. I found it on one of Apple Music's acoustic chill playlists because I knew that I wanted something acoustic and I wanted something singer-songwriter like Sean was talking about. But my thing with singer-songwriter stuff sometimes is like I'm forever looking for new voices and new songwriting styles. I feel like I get obsessed with a singer-songwriter and devour all of their work, and then I like need the novelty of somebody new a month later because I'm a lyrics person, and this genre is all about that. And so R.D. Thomas really jumped out at me from other people working right now in a couple of ways. I think, first of all, his lyrics are poetic and specific, but still, like, easy to empathize with, which is very hard to do. Like, I love a Phoebe Bridgers or a Soccer Mommy, but those songs are, like, hyper-specific, and it's really, like, you're hearing a story. Whereas I feel like this song is more about an emotion that a lot of people can identify with, which I enjoy. But the thing that really drew me to this for this challenge is the textures. I don't know if it's from him working in a larger band or working in a touring band setting or what, but the combination of synths and I think it's upright piano and guitars and brush drums. Like, it's not novel, but the way that they're recorded, I think, is really fascinating. Like, they clearly mic'd the piano from so far away. Like, it feels like it's on the other end of a high school gym. And there's something about just the big and sparseness of this song. Like, it almost feels like you're hearing him rehearse this song. And there's an intimacy to that feels like a good nap to me. It feels like if you put this on with a good set of speakers and like lit a nice smelling candle and curled up under a blanket, it would just be the perfect nap. It's so pleasant and you can just kind of like float along on top of it. And that's really what I was interested in. You know, there are times for like raw emotional vulnerability, and then there are times for just like pleasant, big, expansive soundscape. And I feel like that's what this song is giving me, and that's what I was really going for.
I think this is an okay nap song. I don't like. Okay, let me take that back. I think this is a good nap song,
but
this song is not for me.
Interesting. I figured of the two of you, you would be the one that would like this, and Tyler would be the one that didn't.
I have a feeling like it's probably reverse.
So what's your problem with it?
I don't. Okay, so I like, first off, I'm just not a big fan of the like modern, like Southern folk revival thing. Like Dixie folk, I don't really care for it. I don't know. It seems like there's something that's weird about it to me. It has a weird energy. I can like put my finger on it and tell you exactly what it is, but I don't really like it. It's not. It feels very.
Is there another artist in particular you're thinking of that also fits in this?
There's a lot of artists out there right now that are like.
I would say maybe like Band of Horses would be a good comparison. Is that fair? I
mean, that's kind of an older band, but he was kind of referring to like a new.
But there's like a singer-songwriter feeling, like performer set of like new folk out there right now. Like I hear a lot when I listen to like Folk Alley or something on NPR, and that these people are out there, and not all of it is really bad. But what I've come to associate with what I like about folk is that folk is like it's sorrowful and it's flat. And where it comes from is its dynamics. That's the musicality of folk that I like. What I don't like about this song is that it's basically a hip hop song that's at half speed. So go on YouTube. If you, I don't know if you like, you guys can do this right now because you're on this here. But go on YouTube and spin this at 1.5. That's before it kind of gets distorted. It's basically something that is a hip hop song. All you need to do is like put some little like some trap drums behind it, and you basically got yourself like something that was produced in a camp. I don't know. Like I get that that's probably why it has like mass appeal, but I don't think like that's what does it for me, is that it doesn't feel like it's a very, for a genre that's supposed to be about heart and soul and meaning and depth and loss, this feels about as deep as a puddle. And that's hard for me to say because it's like, oh, how dare you? He's an artist and he's made all this stuff. And that part of me feels like it's kind of phoned in. Like, I don't know. And that's not saying like that this is a bad song for this challenge or that you're wrong for liking this, Taylor. For me, it just doesn't do it. Like, it doesn't capture what I think of being like a good folk song, which is, I believe, what it's trying to do. And I can't wait for you guys to take a dump on my song because it's going to be hard on me.
I mean, to be fair, I think it's kind of weird to call this explicitly a folk song. Like, I don't, Taylor, in your description, did you say anything about this being explicitly folk or that he is a folk artist?
He gets like lumped into quote unquote alternative folk.
Okay.
Whatever that means. I would call it singer-songwriter at best, but alternative folk is like the
Sure, right.
term of the day for it.
I mean, this sort of, because even the idea of having electronic sounds in a folk song at one point was considered a taboo and not considered real folk music. So like, let's just be clear that there's a huge gradient of what we could consider folk here. I'm not going to, that's not the hill I'm going to die on in this specific instance. I would say that I like the song for the most part, except for probably like, specifically like his sort of his vocal accent is a little like kind of off for me. Like, I don't know if it's kind of like a Lorde sound, like kind of thing where it's kind of like creating an accent to kind of make it like vocally interesting. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I do kind of, I like a lot of what Taylor said, and I kind of agree with it that, like, because, like, I read through the lyrics, and I was like, you know, these are, but sometimes it's kind of nice just to, like, read some lyrics and be like, yeah, I generally understand what's going on, because, like, we've had some arcane lyrics going on in this show before, and it's like, I have no idea what's going on. Historically, the one time I brought in a Circa Survive song into my high school class to describe the lyrics, someone said the lyrics are too hard to understand and some riddles aren't worth solving. So this is the opposite of that.
Yeah, this is definitely not that.
But no, I can enjoy, you know, some pretty straightforward lyrics. And I definitely agree that the piano is, now that you kind of bring attention to the piano part, I think that really it is a really nice part of it. Because I feel like doing the show has made me work like more focused on doing the production, like thinking about production and like choices we're actively making in each song to make them stand out. And I do think the production on this is pretty glossy. Like they're good. They made some good decisions, but this is definitely some definitely highly engineered kind of stuff going on. And I feel like when I'm listening to this, I'm kind of also imagining the new Taylor Swift album kind of also comes to mind. It kind of feels right at home with that. Maybe that's kind of the angle Sean was kind of talking about, where it's kind of folk-y, electronic-y, but it has like a beat, like a drum machine to it, so it's kind of mashing a few different kind of genres all together. But no, I mean, but to back to the challenge itself, I think this definitely works for this challenge. I definitely feel like there's not a lot of highs and lows that are really pulling my attention and really grabbing me in the way that that would take me out of the nap. So I feel like drifting off to sleep to this, perfect, the good stuff.
Well, that just leaves Sean. Sean, what do you have for us?
So this week I chose Daydreaming by Radiohead.
Just happy to serve
Now,
See, this I feel like Sean usually goes first or second because Sean goes and he takes a huge dump on someone's music pick, and then we're like, all right, bucko, time to
See, I mean,
That is
I
Sean's
wasn't sure
also
what order we
always
were
the
going.
most willing to take a big swing, which I think is why we usually put him at the front of the show.
Sean willingly goes first, and you know what? That always makes it the softest blow.
But go ahead.
I will admit that I picked arguably probably one of the worst weeks to just go hard on other people's songs because maybe that's why I did it. You know, like I'm gonna go up to bat and swing because I mean I put myself out this week picking a Radiohead song first off. For a sleep challenge, which is probably really difficult to do. And I put dreaming in the name of the song, which is probably a huge cliche for any podcast on music to do. But I think why I picked this song is that I love all of the softness. I love all of the little sounds and all of the little like feedbacks that come into it. I love the texture of the piano. I love there not being drums in it, which is probably blasphemous for me to say. I think that having a sad song to take a nap plays well. And I actually did fall asleep when I put this song on, back to sleep. And I feel like the piano part in this song lends itself to being like, my naps are usually in and out, in and out. I usually don't just like go hard, like go to sleep and then wake up and I'm good to go. Like I usually go in and out. So like I wanted to figure out something that was very similar to that. And I just felt like this song was really beautiful. And up until kind of listening to this, getting ready for this challenge, I had never really listened to this album all the way through. Like Radiohead had kind of just like popped up in my YouTube videos this week, kind of out of the blue. And I was like, I'm going to listen to more of them. And it was really, I don't know. I sat on this one for a while because I didn't know if I really wanted to pick it. But then the more that I thought about it after a couple of days, I was like, you know what? This is the one. This is the one where I needed to just pick the 6.5 minute long song to put on this. There's probably not a better opportunity than this. Right. That's exactly right. It's swinging at, right. But I am curious. And if you guys hate it, that's fine. I get it. I like it though.
Okay. For the challenge, it's a no for me, dog.
Oh my God.
And here's why. The end of this song gets very dissonant, which I love, but I don't think it would work for me in a nap environment. I think it would jolt me awake. And when you get to the like super crunchy, distorted version of Tom York's vocals at the end, where it's just the distorted vocals and nothing else, there's no sleeping through that in my mind. That being said, I love this record. A Moonshaped Pool, probably, I would say, in my top 3 Radiohead records.
Whoa.
You know, we don't need to like give background on Radiohead because I feel like if you're listening to this, you at least know who they are. But A Moonshaped Pool, you know, it got big Brian Eno energy. It's very ambient. It's very textural. The songs are long. This song in particular is the opening track, and it's a piano-based experimental ballad. Like, this album was not trying to be a raucous affair. And I love that for it because I feel like Radiohead has just gone all in on like, we're not really a rock band anymore. We're just kind of a group of musicians.
Right.
And this song proves that point in spades. The piano is wonderful, but it's the analog synth textures for me. The little twinkly bits that kind of come in and out just randomly that feel like I don't even know where they come from. And then that string arrangement, Johnny Greenwood, who outside of Radiohead has done a bunch of film scoring. I believe he arranged the strings for this. Like, just big, huge strings, like massive strings. And for me, like, I don't know that this is a nap song, but like, I put this record on a lot when I have like real bad insomnia. Like, I'm just like awake at 4:00 in the morning and I cannot, like, I just need to shut my brain up, and I put A Moonshaped Pool on, and this track is the first track, and it just, it takes you on a journey. It's a great song. I'm really glad you picked it. I just don't think this was the challenge for it.
I almost had forgotten about this song's outro, the last like 5 seconds, which is some of the most haunting sounds I've ever heard in my life. And Sean had the audacity to be like, this guitar feedback, it disrupted my nap. Meanwhile, Tom York, the will-o-wisp, beckoning to your death, like, come to me, Come, I will lead you out to the forest. I'm the wisp of the wood. I will save you. Joke's on you, idiot! I'm now a troll now, and I'm gonna kill you. Like, what? What is happening? You had the audacity. Tom York is the most haunting voice in the recording musical industry, and you said Jeff Rosenstock's raspy spoken word too grating for me. That being said, up until that point, this song is beautiful, right? Like, it's haunting, it's eerie, it's mystical, it's whimsical, you know, like already all the words that Taylor already said. Like, I can almost get there. And I feel like the context you really need is that this is Sean's pick, and you're like, oh, of course, because Sean's a sad boy. He's a little sad. And he says, even the saddest songs are like, you know, that's kind of a good day. So, you know, this makes a lot of sense. But no, I mean, like, I could get there. I could get there to fall asleep to this song, except for, you know, like I said, Tom York is an evil spirit trying to kill me. But yeah, great.
Hey, do you like Tim Burton?
He's alright.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said he's all right, because if you would have said yes, I would have said shut the hell up.
This song does have big Tim Burton vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here, hold on. Let me go put on my Jack Skellington zip-up hoodie. I'll be right back, guys. Don't worry.
It zips all the way up the hood. That's how you know he's a real goth.
Oh, with that bombshell of hoodie enlightenment, does anybody have some notable B-sides this week for some other great recommendations for nap?
Yeah. On the vein of, you know, bands we've all heard of, Green Eyes by Coldplay, I think is just a beautiful song.
Coldplay, good pick.
I mentioned Soccer Mommy before. I think Circle the Drain is a nice, like, about to nap song, and then Night Swimming by Soccer Mommy is the nap itself. We'll Make It Through by Ray LaMontagne, and Warm Coffee by Ziggy Alberts.
Honeybee by Unknown Mortal Orchestra.
Damn.
Kingston by Faye Webster. Creature Comfort by Arcade Fire. Dead of Night by Orville Peck. Desire by Dead.
Who's sleeping to Creature Comfort? Also,
they're B-side. They're B-side
Desire
for a
by
reason.
Dead. Desire by Dead. Somebody on TikTok described them as the goth B-52s, and oh man, I'm
don't know
into
if
that
they're
record
goth,
right now.
But yeah. Sweatpants Spider-Man by Open Mike Eagle. And Masterpiece by Big Thief.
Ooh, Big Thief is a good pick.
There's a reason why they're B-sides, all I'm saying.
Well, he's definitely. I was gonna say just anything off Sex and Food for Unknown Mortal Orchestra. I just think that's like just a fantastic album in general. But to nap too, it's good because it's got all the right vibes, positive, negative, and whatever else. That was really all I had. Honestly, I was listening to a bunch of like random stuff this week from some recommendations from some of my friends. So when I heard this Radiohead song, I was like, I just kind of just go for it. Why not? Taylor's gonna hate me, and I need some of that right now. So.
I don't hate you, I just don't agree.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Tyler, if people want to cozy up on their couch in a Jazz Cat t-shirt, where can they get one of those?
Hey everybody, you can find my design, illustration, and work at rootpets.club. And if you want to pick up any of my merch or any of that crap, go to rootpets.club/merch. Click on the merch tab. Buy some stuff. Really appreciate it. Holiday season's right around the corner. Get something for your loved ones. And if you want to continue the conversations on the socials, you want to ask me about some random garbo, you can tweet me or you can Instagram me at Root Pets Club.
The Jazz Cat shirt is super tight, y'all. It's going to be the gift of the season. Sean, if people need cozy sweater recommendations for their naps, where can they get those from you?
Oh, yeah. You can find me on Instagram at TellySean.
And if you need advice on the perfect throw blanket to accent your decor and also keep you warm on these cold winter nights, I can provide those to you on the socials at TC Olmstead. All of these songs will join our very not nap-worthy playlist, the No Repeat podcast playlist on Apple Music and Spotify. And we'll be back next week with another episode of No Repeat.